What do you do in the evening when you don't know what to do? Read a book, play a game, every night is just the same. What do you say if I tell you how to keep from feeling blue? My advice is good to take and it's easier to do. When you're all alone, any old night, and you're feeling out of tune, pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, you'll be feeling better soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Look, look, look at the stars above. Look, look, look at those sweeties love. Oh boy, give me a night in June. I mean it, all you got to do any old night when you're feeling out of tune. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. When you make a date any old night, gonna meet your sweetie soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, that's the only place to spoon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Walk, walk, kiss and then walk again, talk, talk, kiss and then talk again. Oh joy, sweethearts are all in tune. I mean it, when it's raining out, stay in a room, but on a lovely night in June, here's what to do, sweetie, and you just get out and get under the moon. If you're with a girl and she is cold, says she doesn't want her spoon, don't you feel blue? Here's what you do, just get out and get under the moon. If you feel a kiss and she gets sore, she'll forget it mighty soon. Don't stop to fret, she'll learn to pet when you get her under the moon. Indoors, there's not a thing to do. In-laws walk in and out on you. Oh boy, sister and brother too. I've tried it, just take my advice. If she is nice, nice as any night in June, just take her hand, she'll understand, and get out and get under the moon.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are y'all doing this evening? The countdown timer did not start correctly. I don't even know what the heck was up with that, but it absolutely did not start correctly, and there you go. So how's everybody doing tonight? Mike W., Vic, how are you doing? Let me change up the screen a little bit while we chitty chat. Yeah, I didn't hit the start button on the timer, and it just all went wonker McMeow meow. So it's all good. Let me get the Flame of Doom up there where it needs to be. Streamloots are where they need to be. Okay, all right. It's been a minute since I've done this. So how's everybody doing? We are Monday, the last Monday of October. We are simultaneously winding down the Halloween haunt season and ramping it up for its final weekend. Vic says, pouring up a bunch of latex, making zombie guts and toes and so on. That's awesome. It's always good to be productive during one of these boring shows. How did this weekend go, Vic? Did you get some folks coming to get some scares on? Is it ramping up for you? I'm sure it's got to be. It's still kind of iffy for some haunts. Some places are starting to offer discounts, and some haunts are saying that they're packed, but of course they might be limiting numbers, or they may just be free for all in it, and it may just be super packed. Hopefully everybody that wants to get their scare on does it soon. since we are winding down. Let's see, Vic says, it went okay. Biggest night so far was Saturday. I bet you this coming weekend will be pretty, this weekend should be pretty good. Yeah, excuse me. We're supposed to get rain on Wednesday, and then that's it. And it's supposed to get cooler. Excuse me. Hopefully, though, for you, the rain doesn't really screw a lot of stuff up, since you're prone to flooding with a few spits of rain. But, a majority of haunted attractions are now in home haunts. This will be their last weekend. I haven't seen too many haunted attractions this year trying to go into November. There are a few, but I'm not seeing nearly the amount that are thinking about going into the next weekend, the first weekend of November, which I really honestly don't blame them if they don't. Since it's been kind of hellish for folks to get folks to come and volunteer for a slice of pizza. I literally saw today, I cannot remember the name of the haunt. I probably wouldn't name it anyway, but their official sponsor is Domino's Pizza, for real. And it was a picture of somebody in a clown mask shoving a slice of, and it literally looked like a cold piece of pizza into the clown mask slit. It was almost like a poster child for everything that we talked about last stream. Vic says, we aren't going to November, going to tear down and start next year. Nice. Vic, I don't know if you watched the live stream, James' live stream for 13 Skeletons, or if you saw the replay, but holy moly. Oh my God. The amount of time they spent in their backyard just completely blew me away and was completely humbling. Speaking of, hey 13, all you got this tonight is boring old me. James isn't here. So it's just me. Sorry I didn't give James a better place to video from. 13, I couldn't make the live stream because I was actually at my parents', but I rewatched the 44 minutes of it. James needs to fix his audio for somebody who's so into it. It was really hard to hear what was going on. I don't know if he had his hand over the mic or something, but 13, oh my God, I don't know if you heard what I was telling Vic, but my God, sir, just... I had to go back and see if James was like a professional theme park, because the sets that you did just, there's no words for it. Absolutely just amazing. I mean, you are top tier with professional haunted attractions. Man, I mean, 2 thumbs up, 2 cheers. I'm going to see if I can actually... I know James is going to go next year. I'm going to see if somehow or another I can actually meet him up there, because I would love to see all this stuff live with my own 2 eyes. But, dude, 13, that just... Good God. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, I mean, James isn't here, but for Haunters Anonymous, it was an absolute honor and a pleasure to live stream from there. James is going to have to learn how to do things in horizontal mode. iPhone users, you just want to like hit them with a brick. Not really. But he's going to have to learn how to do things horizontally with his videos and his mic. I'm not sure what happened there, but I barely could hear anything that you were saying, and it wasn't your fault. Yeah, Vic, 13 definitely has it going on. That's a great way to say it, too. And definitely a go-go gadget kind of dude. Lots of mistakes. No. Well, James's audio was bad. I'm waiting for him to like be here, but like I'm gonna beat your ass. No, 13. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just. Oh my God. I was just completely, and the whole time I was watching that video, I was just like, my God. Like literally, we could have just taken the captions and everything off of it, and somebody would have asked, what theme park are you at right now? That was the level of just awesome sauceness. So, man, as always, beyond belief. Just, God, whew, God, I was blown away. Hey, Ranger. See, there's another one. Really enjoyed 13 Skeletons live stream. Yeah, it was. I'm so glad that James and Hunters Anonymous was able to go in there and partake in that. I am still blown away by it. I'm going to probably end up watching it again just to be blown away some more. Let's see, 13 says, the best was when Jennifer George from Rube Goldberg visited. Yeah, and the machine went perfect. Man. Yep. I'm just blown away. And that's, dude, you need an entirely next level of recognition for that. I mean, that's absolutely an honor. But man, if the whole planet needs to know about what you do. I'll be damned. We're going to make sure that the planet does know what you do. I mean, there's just a level of recognition that needs to just go beyond words, quite honestly. So, two thumbs up, 2 cheers, and everything else. And then what just to let you know too, we're going to do is, of course, after Halloween, we're going to put the live streams for Hunters Anonymous on hiatus. We will still do a lot of posts with Hunters Anonymous, and I'm going to be sure to go back on the videos that James has done the last 2 years, and pictures and everything else, and just you'll be a center point, I think, for the news and the Throwback Thursdays and whatever else they're called for Hunters Anonymous. So just because the live streams on Hunters Anonymous will go on hiatus doesn't mean that coverage on you and everything and a lot of other stuff is going to stop, because it's gonna ramp up. So, and you're very welcome, and thank you 13 for making Hunters Anonymous part of it by letting James do his bit in live streaming, and of course coming on the show as much as you do, and of course that goes for everybody that's comes on this crazy show, especially when it's just me on here. My guess is James is probably back home. I'm not really sure what the schedule was after the fact, but I didn't get the call or the text or the message today that he was going to be on tonight, which I don't think that I even knew if I was going to be on tonight, but I figured why not, since it's a Monday, not Sunday stream. And I had to come on and say hello to everybody, and was hoping that you'd be on 13 as well as everybody else. And I wanted to check on Vic too, although I can check on Vic anytime. 13 says, I wish James and family would have stayed around longer when they came by. Yeah, they, being it's the family and stuff, I know they're kind of on a tight schedule. I'm sure that if James could wing it, they would stay a couple of nights, find a place and just be able to hang out and chill out and really socialize. But I know that there's time constraints, especially since next weekend they're headed back out to Hershey Park. But man, between 13, between you and Vic, y'all could build an entire functional Old West city. I mean, literally, just open up make a brand new city and just have the two of y'all design and build it. And I would totally visit for extended amounts of time. But definitely, there's going to be, of course, everybody in the last year and a half, we're going to definitely, in this 2 month or so hiatus, the live stream hiatus, we'll definitely be recapping a lot. Hunters Anonymous is going to probably be even more active as far as the Facebook page and website than it is now, just because I'll have more time to step back and turn a lot of this stuff into the podcast they're supposed to be and put out the news stuff. And then, of course, we will switch over to the ministry. You'll still be able to partake in our quirkiness and live streams. So it's gonna be an interesting 2 months. And of course, we'll start going to Christmas. Speaking of, I know that Vic, I know that you're gonna do maybe some stuff for Christmas. 13, are you gonna deck out the? Are you gonna deck out the stuff you've done for Christmas? You're gonna keep it up for a wee bit. Yeah, the Old West theme is awesome. Well, like I said, between you and Vic, the facades and stuff y'all have built has just been. I'm really just blown away. James and I have said it before, and I'll say it again, especially, I know I can speak for him as well, but we've said this multiple times, but the level of talent that we have been just absolutely graced with all you folks, just y'all make the show as always. We say that all the time, but y'all make the show. The ability for us to showcase as much as we can in our own little way, and then to have y'all come on, and then letting us live stream, and then getting the pictures and getting the updates. It's very humbling, and we do feel very graced by it, for real. So it's always an absolute pleasure to be awed and wowed by all of you folks. 13 says, facade and mine staying up, inside saloon in is coming down. Okay. That makes sense. Get some of that stuff out of the elements. So I'm really kind of amazed that we are literally in the last week of October already. It kind of went fast, it kind of didn't, all at the same time. Hell, today went by in a heartbeat for some reason. But oddly enough, I am looking forward to the cooler weather. So if that means that we have to get past Halloween and go into Christmas, that's fine. I need cooler weather. Ranger says, Vic's facades are awesome. They could be used as a movie set. True. Well, 13 Skeletons is... You're right, Ranger. 13 Skeletons, absolutely the same way. I mean, I could literally see movies being filmed at either location. Hell, one movie, go to each location, just for the different facades. I'm looking forward to seeing what Sean's got. What Sean has popped up there. That's once again the what's going to happen the next 2 months is going to be showcasing. I'm going to really be hounding all of you for pictures and videos, and the videos we've done and the pictures. That's what it's going to be all about. We're going to be sure that the haunt world knows that these places exist. It's not just Halloween Horror Nights and all the big dogs. The big dogs could learn some stuff from all of you other folks, quite honestly. Some of them, of course, are amazing, but some of them really could learn. Some of them really could learn from what y'all have done. Quite a bit. And I would say that right to their face with no problem. Some of them, of course, they spend so much money. It's hard to hold a candle to it. But there's definitely some lessons that could be learned from some of these folks that charge way more money than they should be. I'm also looking forward to you folks that are doing stuff to go and be vendors next year. which of course will also highlight that. I know that I think Keith's video, I came in on the last part of Keith's live stream when they were bagging up their 5 billion pounds of candy. And, definitely, which is true. As soon as all this is over with, November starts the whole vending phase where you're putting your stuff together and, getting ready to go vend. Jessica, what's up? How are you doing? Happy last Monday of October. And then James, we haven't really talked too much about it because James has been pretty busy, but James and I are going to possibly attempt to go to some of these places, some of these conventions. Not really sure if that's going to happen or what, but we're definitely going to be doing the Orlando Informer meetup next winter. We've got a full year's worth to inform you all about that. Vic says he'll be heading to MHC. Vic, are you going to be vending there or just going? I'm going to guess vending. Just says, I'm exhausted, been rearranging my life. That will exhaust anyone. Tomorrow's your birthday. Well, happy early birthday, Jessica. Happy early birthday. I'm sure I'll be giving you a post tomorrow at some point on the Facebooks. You have a lot of reverb. Do I? Why is that? I could have a whole lot of reverb like this. Let's see if this works. I might have my face too close to the mic. There's no telling. And you are super welcome, Jessica. Yeah, there's this little button. I'll touch it every once in a while. Because it's funny. 13 says, watching Vic's build videos was a great motivation in my build. Helped me keep going. Is that better, Jessica? Okay. I think I had the little twirly button notched up a little bit. I may have knocked it while I was moving stuff. Well, yeah, y'all are all inspirations. I am nobody's inspiration this year. Not one bit. Because all I've done this year is complain. But, yeah, so I'm not sure. I seriously doubt that I'm interested in doing Transworld myself. But MHC, that would probably be a fun one. I was hearing some pretty rough things about Spooky Empire this past weekend. Apparently Spooky Empire was a complete mess. But I also think that Transworld bought it. Don't quote me on that, but somebody bought Spooky Empire, and I think it was Transworld, but don't quote me on it. I might be 1,000% wrong on that. If anybody can prove me otherwise, do that. But apparently Robert England was there, and it was just a complete and utter mess. Not because he was there; it was handled poorly. But definitely, this month went by really, really fast. It really did. I just as the quick bit of haunt news, I'm still continuing to see posts about haunts, like the ones that are only open on the weekend, which are usually the amateur or the home haunts. They're not doing anything. I've been trying to find any information about if any cities are changing their trick or treat, which I can't find anything here in Pensacola. Pensacola doesn't. They don't inform anybody of anything. So I told my parents, just go ahead and it's Sunday. Trick or treat is on Halloween night. I don't care if it's on a Wednesday. Jessica says I'm too broke for any haunted house. So if anyone wants to take me for my birthday, yeah. I just decided for myself it was just another year where I didn't go. I don't have anything around me at this point. There's nothing for me to go to. I could travel. I could go see Vic. I could go to New Orleans. But it's just another low-key Halloween for me. I told James this a couple times. I have really, really struggled to get into the spooky Halloween spirit this year. And just because we're still in, a bit of a mess. And because I'm just so entrenched on keeping up with all these haunted attractions that are closing or never opening up again, or don't like to pay their people so they can't get actors, and blah 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 blah. I was too ingrained in haunt and Halloween news, I think, to enjoy the month. Danny, what's up, Danny? Yeah, Danny, it's just kind of felt off again this year. Especially it's just still hot. God, it was hot again today. Jessica decorated a little bit. Did it for the kiddo. There you go. I always say, at your home, if you decorate, a lot of people decorate and they do some awesome stuff, like their front yards and stuff, and they want to show off, which is totally understandable. But I say at the end of the day, you do it for yourself. You do it for the accomplishment. You do it for your family. You do it for your kids. You do it to enjoy Halloween, even if it's just you. Like, this year, most likely I'll be on my front porch by myself, which is completely fine. I'm buying an extremely limited amount of candy, which is fine. Except now I've got my neighbors bringing me candy because, Mike, we bought this bag of candy and we're eating too much. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm on a caloric restrictive diet because I'm trying to lose weight too, but that's okay. And then I sit there and eat like 5 mini Butterfingers, which is fine. Danny says, went to a fall festival on Saturday and it was fun but too hot. Yeah, Florida's a bit too hot still. We're supposed to get cooler weather here by Halloween, but God, dog, it rained some yesterday, and so today was just kind of hot and muggy. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. That's okay. The little bit of candy that my neighbor gave me, I had to put in the refrigerator because I'm like, well, it's just too warm to leave it out in the house, even though it's October. And then there's like some weird little storms brewing below us. We're kind of watching to see if like we're going to get one more hurricane season bang. Jessica said it's fine. But it's really weird. Danny was talking about Halloween seemed off this year. Like I said, seen some amazing things once again from 13 and Vic and some of the other folks, and we'll eventually see Sean's stuff. But I don't know. It's just I'm guessing that what I'm gonna have to do is take a whole year and still keep up with the haunt news, but just kind of step back and like, okay, well, this is. Don't let it bum you out, which it didn't really bum me out. It's just I really hate when I hate it when one or two haunted attractions or home haunt say they can't do anything this year. But my God, when you get like one or two every single day. After the last stream, our last live stream, got off the live stream. James and I disconnected. Went on to check Facebook real quick. The first damn thing that popped up was, sorry folks, but this, that, and the other, and I know we decorate the yard big time and people walk through, but we just can't do it this year. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, keep it rolling. Keep the fun rolling. 13 says we have a state of emergency in New Jersey right now with 4+ inches coming tonight. Holy, yeah, oh my God. Well, be careful. Don't let your basement flood again. However that works when you own a basement. I've never owned a basement, so I don't know I wouldn't even know. Being in Florida, being across the street from a ding-dong marine company, if I had a basement, I would just go over there and say, I'm stealing some of your bilge pumps. Because I'm not paying for them. I'm going to steal them. And I would tell them I was stealing them, too. Not really. Yeah, I mean, apparently all across the United States, there's torrential rains and tornadoes and this, that, and the other, and bippity-boppity-boo. We're supposed to get on Wednesday a little bit of rain of some sort, maybe a little stormy, but Other than that, we got a mild bit of rain yesterday, Sunday. Today, like I said, it was just sunny and hot. It's supposed to cool down towards the Halloween weekend. If it doesn't, well, welcome to Florida. Oh, most worried about my town of Adams Creek from 13. And then Jessica says, get those handbags. Well, just keep us, 13, let us keep us surprised. I wish there was anything we could do, but not much we can do except just to cross our fingers and bite our nails and then just hope everything's okay. Jessica, you're right. Excuse me. Florida is home of the bipolar weather. I mean, it's amazing. 2 weeks ago, we had 4 or 5 days of actually wonderfully chilly weather, and it went back to hurricane season. Like, oh, okay, well, today, like I said, had to have been about 90% humidity. But yeah, 13 definitely. Well, Vic too. Y'all keep us apprised of what's going on. That is one of the definite perils of having any sort of outdoor haunted attraction, or when you have something you do at your home, which of course is outdoors, especially as elaborate as what you did, 13. That's not something you can throw a tarp over real easy and call it a day. Which is a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing in that so many cool things are out there, but it's a curse because so many cool things are out there. It's for some folks. I actually have seen some of the home haunts that do the tents and stuff, and they've shown pictures where XYZ didn't make it, and Davis Graveyard. They had some pretty decent winds that knocked over some of their stuff. Of course, they build all their stuff, and they know how to repair their stuff pretty darn easy. But knocked over, I think the one picture I saw, it knocked over a beautiful angel, tombstone angel. And then they said, it looks worse than it is, but we'll get it fixed. Of course, here in Florida, when we have winds, the bad winds are hurricane winds, or tropical storm, or tropical depression winds. And of course, I know up north, it's nothing to sneeze at either. When you get, I guess, like the winter wonderland winds, whatever the hell those are called. It made it sound like it was Santa Claus on crack or something. Winter wonderland winds. The triple W. I'm just crossing my fingers. I think hurricane season here ends in the middle of November. Supposed to. I'm just hoping that we've been, knock on wood, pretty quiet, even with rainstorms, which has been nice because I haven't had to mow my yard in several weeks. Thank goodness. I'll have to probably do it one more time, which I'm not looking forward to, but it's all good. And then when it gets cooler, I'll start working hot and heavy on my my garage shed, my 16 by 24 foot menace of a shed. I'm looking forward to that, but it's got to get cooler. Like by a lot, and drier. But I'm looking forward to Sunday. I probably will have a couple of kids come by, which is absolutely fine. Like I said, I'm just going to enjoy Sunday, Halloween, and total side note. Last night I saw my parents. We watched Hocus Pocus. They've never seen Hocus Pocus before. They thoroughly enjoyed it, as they should. So I may watch it again tonight. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. 13, how much time do you have to prepare before these storms are coming? Oh, you did say tonight. 4 inches tonight. 4+ inches tonight. If I would reread what you wrote, which I read before, I would have answered my question already. Well, I'm sure it'll be okay. And then you got Vic. Vic's got one more Friday and Saturday night. I definitely feel bad for the folks, that put a lot of effort out there, and literally they get like these torrential winds and rains, and then they just show you the aftermath, and you're like, man, it just kind of makes your heart sink. 13 says, no, we should be okay. Phenomenal. I know that, I tell you what, that stuff you built, it looks hardy enough to withstand a hurricane. So if it was here in Florida, I think it'd be fine here. Which says a lot. Says an awful lot. We've got new houses that are being built around here. I don't think they could withstand the big bad wolf, let alone anything else. And then, of course, total side note. Oh, Jessica says that does say a lot. It does. It really does. That stuff looks pretty hardy. Big stuff looks pretty hardy. But 13 skeleton stuff looks really, really hardy. But total side note, we are starting to see folks taking more pictures of the Christmas stuff that's out. I did see another report about the supply line, and they're basically saying, like, this Christmas, they're like, expect there not to be a lot of stuff on the shelves, and definitely don't expect there to be a lot of diverse things. They're like, you might go somewhere and see 3 or 4 different types of a singular thing that you can pick from. Like, oh, I like this one the best. They're saying this year you'd be lucky if there's 2. So they say there's not going to be a lot of diversity in whatever stuff you might be looking for Christmas, either for yourself or for gifts or for decorations. Which I'm lucky in that too, because although I do have an enormous amount of Halloween stuff, I do tend to have a lot of Christmas stuff too. Not nearly, like I said, as much Halloween stuff, but I can make do with turning some Halloween stuff into Christmas stuff, because I think I'm actually going to try to be more festive for Christmas this year. Ranger says, do you think COVID will settle down and things will start to get back to normal next year regarding supply chains, haunt conventions, etc., or do you think 2022 will be another tough year? Globally in general, what did 13 say? 13 says, we actually sit on rocking chairs at night at the saloon facade, and it feels like I'm back in time. I would totally, if I had that 13, that's exactly what I'd be doing, that like all the time. I would leave it up all year long. I would do whatever I need to do to fortify the wood, as far as like a protectant, and call it a day, and be there all the time. Which I need to get my back deck up and running again. So I'm sitting here talking about how cool it is, which it is cool to have a saloon facade to sit at, and I'm sitting here like I can't even get my damn deck cleaned and painted. But Ranger, there's already global reports, even outside of the Halloween and haunted attraction industry, that are saying that if we think that the supply issues are bad this year, they're saying 2022 is going to be worse. For the simple fact that we are now so far behind with manufacturing, that so many things are going on with truck drivers, with ports, with marine ports, with getting ships in. that food's going to be more expensive next year, that it's kind of hard to say specifically for the haunt attraction industry and the vendors, but I don't think anything is going to be the same like it used to be. Nothing's going to go back to the way it was in 2019 and previous. Globally, even outside the Halloween and haunt industry, globally, as you all know, things have changed. Things have changed, and they have changed permanently. Some folks thought that 2021 might see a little bit better with supply chains. They weren't really banking on it, but we now can see that that's not the case. I mean, if you think about it, next week's November. We're in what's considered the fourth quarter of 2021, the fourth quarter of 4 quarters, and things are already. We know things are getting worse already. Christmas, which is a huge moneymaker for so many places, and we know that things are not getting any better as it is right now. And you've got a lot of, if you go back to the haunt attraction industry and vendors, I know that there were raw materials that were hard to get this year or very expensive. Latex, clay, stuff like that. Keith and Vic would be two good ones to ask about that. Sorry, I had to blow my nose and I tried to mute and it just wasn't working. So y'all got a big earful of me blowing my nose. And it's because it's humid outside and I'm talking a lot. So there you go. But so sorry about that. So next year, I think there's going to be a lot of people making do with what you can get here in the United States. I know that the vendors that require specific electronics, especially stuff that they get manufactured in China and other places, is going to be really hard to come by. I think next year is going to be the absolute eye-opener that, at least here in the United States, we definitely need to work on being more self-sufficient. And of course, I'm not saying that in a political or any other manner, except that we, like other places on the planet, are going to probably, like all the other continents, are probably going to realize that there needs to be a more internal self-sufficiency. I think you're going to have some haunt vendors that are going to realize that there is going to be an issue with raw materials next year, and they will probably start scooping stuff up now after they've made their money with what they've sold this year, which I myself have not heard ecstatic, amazing things about vendor numbers this year. I know that Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks just did a unboxing video from, I think, Midnight FX. I'm going to think that's correct. I'm hoping it is. I can't remember. And I think he had 5 pieces, and 3 or 4 of them were complete garbage. And that's pretty much almost his wording. They were complete garbage. And he waited 7 months. I think he said he waited 7 months. Vic, if you're still here, and I think it was 7 months. Be sure to go check out that video because Keith really does do honest opinions on stuff. And they were not good pieces. Beautifully painted, but poorly constructed. And I'm afraid that we're going to see more of that next year. I think we're going to see more vendors who are going to they're going to overextend themselves like they did this year, trying to make as much money as they can, but then sacrificing quality to a point where you get people like Keith, who knows what he's looking at, and goes like, this is not at all acceptable for what I just paid for it. I think he said that the box he got was about $1,500 worth of stuff. And like I said, I know 3 of the 5 were complete returns, redos, whatever, and I think there may have been a 4th. There was one that he was fine with. One piece wasn't done to specifications. So the super long-winded version of all this is, Ranger, that I get this feeling that we may start seeing some vendors next year who can't do anything, who can't fulfill orders, who understand that they can't get their raw materials, so they can't vend. So you're going to have these conventions that are probably going to see lower vendor numbers. This is my prediction for next year. Lower vendor numbers, and the conventions are probably going to have to charge more to actually be a vendor. And you're going to see a watering down of what's going on. What's interesting is the Halloween and Party Expo, which acquired HauntCon, they're going to be in Las Vegas next year in January. And I don't know, some of y'all will know that I was kind of waiting to see if HauntCon was going to be part of it. And they did finally announce a few weeks ago that they would not be. They're still blaming COVID, which, they're not being sincere about it. HauntCon was really kind of going bye-bye to begin with. It started being poorly run when it was just itself. I won't bore you all with the lowdown of why the Halloween Party Expo acquired it, but I really think that the Halloween Party Expo realized that HauntCon is just too much of a pain in the ass to do for the few vendors that actually vend there and for the few people who care about it to go to HauntCon. And there's really no haunted attractions that I know of in Las Vegas that HauntCon could do a bus tour of. So I think that HauntCon is, I think it's done. I think it's just done. I think it'll be absorbed and that'll be the end of it. Halloween Party Expo will always be around, but not HauntCon. But I myself am predicting that next year, because of supply chain issues, that you're going to see a few vendors that are either going to have to take a year off, or we're going to see vendors saying that they've had it. They can't do what they want to do, and so maybe it's time for them to do something else. You're going to have the vendors that are going to overpromise and underdeliver. And if they do that next year, they'll be gone in 2023 because nobody's going to put up with it next year. Nobody's going to put up with overpromise and underdeliver. I think Keith learned his lesson this year. Not his fault, but I think he learned his lesson. I don't think that the conventions are going to be super crowded with goers. You're going to have the diehard people that literally think that they'll die if they don't make it to a year of Transworld or MHC or whatever. I think that vendors really need to think now, and if Vic, you're still here, this goes for you, it goes for Keith. I really, 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 really think that you need to think hardcore about having a website, doing things that you know that you can get stuff for, do your model runs, take fantastic pictures of it, do three-dimensional pictures of it, do videos of it, put that out there before you decide to vend. If you've already got your mindset you're going to vend at MHC and you've got the money set aside for it, that's great. But I really don't think that you should do the whole reveal at MHC like a lot of people do. Oh my God, my brand new thing that I'm not going to show you the picture of unless you go to MHC. And then I don't think that's a good idea for next year. I think everybody should put their stuff out. That one place that did the quote-unquote totally virtual convention, which, yeah, I was like, all right, well, that's a great idea, but, and they did it. there was complaints and there was people praising it. Froggy's Fog was, I think, their biggest sponsor or whatever. I don't think it was necessary to do it virtually. I don't think that really turned out that great. But they have decided that they are going to do it like as a physical thing next year, which I think is a really bad idea. At first I thought, okay, cool, well, give it a whirl. But now that 2022 is shaping up the way it is, I think starting a brand new convention for an already oversaturated market with conventions is a bad idea. That's just my opinion on that. I think the idea would be to wait one more year to 2023. I don't think this would be the year if you think that going to conventions will get you a good deal, simply because vendors are going to be hurting for business. They will be, but at the same time, they're going to be hurting for supplies, so their prices are going to be through the roof. They're not going to be giving discount codes and all this stuff like they had the luxury of in the past, like 2019 and previous. By the way, Ranger, this is my super long-winded answer to your question. I just don't think that 2022 is going to be a great year for getting anything from anybody. I mean, we saw the supply chain low this year for Home Depot, Lowe's, Big Lots, Walmart, all of the big chains. Or they had stuff from the previous year they still had, like in a warehouse somewhere here in the United States probably, and some new stuff. But we don't know that the new stuff that they showed this year, let's say for instance Home Depot, we don't know that new stuff was really new stuff. It may have been stuff that they had last year that they stockpiled and decided that people didn't have the money to spend on it, so they just kept it hush-hush in the warehouse and then had it for this year. So there's no saying that you don't know that next year is going to be wild and crazy with all kinds of new stuff. I mean, it may be stuff that you saw this year in 2020, and they've got a limited supply. I just don't think that next year is going to be a wild and woolly year, a wild year for having all kinds of new stuff. So that's my long-winded story on that. My personal opinion of monitoring the last two seasons, and then the global supply chain is in general. That it's next year is going to be just spectacular. I also am, and I'll shut up about this, but I also think that next year we're going to see the same amount of continuous places closing, haunted attractions, which is going to be sad. And it's going to be a lot of the ones that didn't do well last year. We'll say, the professional haunted attractions last year, and they didn't do good this year, and now they're just done. Or they had to close last year and did mediocre this year, and now they're done 2022. Or, all the combinations thereof. And I think, Ranger, you asked me this a while ago too, but I also don't think this 2022 is a good year at all to open up a new haunted attraction whatsoever. 2022 would be a good year that if you know for a fact that in 2023 you'll be opening, 2022 would be the best year for you to build up your social media numbers, to start really hyping people up, to build up the engagement on websites and everything else. 2022 would be a fantastic year for the media hype. As long as you know for sure you'll be opening in 2023. Because by the time 2023 gets around, the haunt season, you will have amassed an enormous amount of followers if you really know what you're doing with working the crowd. So 2022 would be a good year for that, but not for physically trying to open up a new haunt. I'm pretty sure some of the haunted attractions that I'm seeing that are saying they've got epic numbers are not giving the full story that they may have shortened up their maze this year, or they may have literally had to limit the amount of customers going through because they didn't have the amount of workers, or combinations of all kinds of stuff. Um, if I had a hamburger joint that could only sell 10 hamburgers a day, and then the next day I tell everybody, oh my God, my numbers were epic. But nobody knew I only had 10 burgers. And I said, oh, I sold all the burgers I could make. Oh my God, amazing. Just, oof, gosh, I'm the best burger business out there. But I didn't tell people that I only was able to make 10 burgers. I only sold 10 burgers. Then you're absolutely lying to a possible future customer base. And I really think there's a lot of haunted attractions doing that. They're not giving the full story about their quote-unquote epic numbers for this year. And it happened last year, too. I said this before several times. You had these obscure haunted attractions that were like, oh my God, these are the best numbers we've ever had, and here are the pictures, and it's wall-to-wall people during a pandemic, and aren't we just the coolest things in sliced bread? And they shouldn't have been doing any of it, but they won't tell you that, oh, well, the 6 haunted attractions that were within an hour drive of me all were closed down. So I had no competition. They don't go into that. But their numbers were like completely and utterly mind-boggling, and oh, we are the best, getting the pom-poms and doing the cheerleading thing. And I, for a fact, know that a lot of those haunted attractions, that's exactly what happened. They decided to be open with either limited, no, or as much protection as they could. And literally haunted attractions around them, bigger and better ones, were basically like, yep, too dangerous, we're closing. And that's why you've got like this other haunted attraction whose numbers were legitimately through the roof, but it's because there was no competition. So, and their prices were high, and they knew they could charge high prices. This year, just a total side note, this year I've seen more haunted attractions that never had a fast pass, quote unquote, or VIP, quote unquote, or front of the line, quote unquote, have them this year. I'm just like, it's like they're all getting on that bandwagon now. And for them, it's just an easier way to make a little bit of extra cash. They'll overbook their VIP line, and the regular line is shorter than the VIP line. It's because they're tricking people into thinking that you'll get in faster if you spend that extra 10 or 15 or $20. I'm not opposed to charging customers a little extra if you manage it correctly. If you're not managing it correctly and you've literally overbooked your front of the line or VIP or fast pass or whatever the hell you want to call it, then you're literally just cheating people out of money. I also saw Spooky Empire did that. They overbooked the fast pass or VIP line going to Robert England, and when they realized it, they didn't do anything about it. And the people that paid money to go on the regular line, those are the people that were waiting 6 to 7 hours without their line moving, and they were pretty pissed about it. It was one of many things I heard about Spooky Empire this year. It makes me not. I kept thinking, one day I'll go to Spooky Empire. I'll never go to Spooky Empire. It doesn't sound like anything I really care about. But that's the long-winded, verbose prediction, Ranger, I think, for next year. Next year is going to definitely weed out some folks. And unfortunately, it's going to weed out some folks that didn't deserve to be weeded out. Some yes, some no. But we'll see. I just know that, I'm just, the places that are open that I'm normally used to seeing, like Hip Hip Hooray, and they don't boast, but they let folks know, hey, this is going, hey, we're getting kind of crowded. Might want to come early. I'm not seeing that from a lot of those places. And the few and far between that I am seeing, like, record numbers, you could just tell that there's other reasonings besides the fact that they're just thinking that they're the best thing since sliced bread. There's a lot of bravado this year with some haunts. And just sadly, like I said, I keep saying this because it boggles my mind, just the ones that are done. I mean, and some of these places that are done they're just done. They're literally, you just hate that they're closing because their quality is so awesome. And they've put a lot of their heart and soul into it. And they genuinely enjoy it for what it is, which is something to give freaky joy to other people, screams and all that stuff, and make some money while they're at it. And good business models, good business people, good business sense, generally making a lot of their own props, giving folks a proper scare for the money, and they just had it. And you're just like, 6 or 6, 13, literally. I went through several of Spooky Empire's posts, and I mean, there really were. There was people that said that they waited 6 or 7 hours in line, and then the attendants would say, "Oh, it'll be a few more hours. Oh, I think we're going to try to move the line," and the line wouldn't move. And even the VIP line had people getting pissed because they paid a lot of money to be assured that they would get to Robert England or whoever they were going to, and it just didn't happen. And they said that the day would wind down after 6 or 7 hours, and they were being promised this and promised that by the attendants. And the next thing you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, so-and-so, Robert England or whoever left for the day because we're closing down." And they're like, "You've got like 100 people still in both these lines, and I paid all this money." And they're like, "Well, just come back tomorrow." And they're like, "Well, I can't come back tomorrow. People were complaining like, "Well, I got to go to work tomorrow," or "My ticket was for today. I can't. That's why I got today's ticket because I can't come tomorrow. I'm flying home tomorrow, or I can't afford another night at a hotel, or I can't afford driving 3 hours home and then 3 hours back just to." So it was a lot of complaints, but people were talking about 6 to 7 hour waits, and then not being able to get their autographs or pictures or whatever, all that other stuff. It was pretty wild, and a lot of people said they would never come back. They would never go to Spooky Empire again. They said they're done. People that said they've been going for years, enjoying the hell out of it, said the past couple of years have been just a joke, and then this year was the solidifier. This was it. This was like it's nothing but a money grab, with no expectations of getting people their money's worth. So I was like, yeah, the hell with that. I'm not going to wait 6 to 7 hours for nothing like that. Nothing. And there's no way. None. There's nothing worth screwing up an entire day after spending money, being afraid to leave line to go pee or eat or drink or all the above. There's nothing worth it. That's really why, a total side note, that's really why I stopped going to Halloween Horror Nights. For one, I wasn't going to pay the exorbitant fees they were charging for the front of the line tickets, and I wasn't going to stand in line for 3 or 4 hours when I paid good money to try and get through 9 or 10 houses, and then be shoved through one of their haunted attractions in like 30 seconds. Because I like to go and look at the scenery, and you can't do that. You can't do it when you're being cattled through something you paid good money for. That's why, I saw the prices for Halloween Horror Nights this year, and I was like, there is literally no way in 10 levels of hell I'd pay some of that money. Next year, I'm going to try to go if James and the family goes in September, which I think he said that next year they're going to go in September, but I'm just going to thoroughly expect to use my Florida resident discount, maybe see a few of whatever houses they go in, and call it a day. It's going to be more of just being able to see James and his family than going to Halloween Horror Nights, because it's just, And a lot of places are getting that way. I saw a few haunted attractions where people complained about that. The lines were long, and they got shoved through. And I won't mention names, but I saw this. There's a haunted attraction that's close to me, and they just think it's cute to be a-holes to people. If somebody has a complaint and it's about a line or it's about this, don't say anything or try to rectify the situation. Don't tell them, well, what did you expect? It's October, it's a Saturday night, there's going to be long lines. That's no. That's no. I'd literally no. For one, I wouldn't be waiting that long, but two, if somebody handled a complaint that I had that was legitimate like that, I'd be like, you know what? I will go out of my way to make sure nobody comes to your haunted attraction. Hi and me. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Danny. I had to think what the hell you're talking about. Yes. Sorry. I rambled on so damn long that my brain's half not working. I'm looking forward to the Orlando meetup next winter. It sure as hell better be cold in Florida next winter, because I'm going to be pissed if it's not. Walking around that theme park in December and it's 80 degrees. There's no way. Y'all better get me a personal air conditioner. But next year, yeah. So next year, I'm going to try to do that, and I'm just going to expect to not have the Halloween Horror Nights experience that I'm used to from many, 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 many years of going to it. And yes, I have come to the conclusion from the couple of years I've seen Spooky Empire comments from people. I was never really that big of a thing into it anyway, but I thought, well, one time before I die or something. But I have no desire to go to Spooky Empire. It'll be cool enough at night. Yeah, that's true, Danny. But yeah, the 6 to 7 hour line waits was very prevalent on several posts from several different people and several different comments, which means it was not an isolated incident and or a fluke. That's just bad management. That's overselling tickets and not being able to mitigate your own screw up, which you shouldn't have done to begin with. You shouldn't oversell tickets. But I'm going to definitely next year, because I said this last year about this year, but of course this year just got screwed up again from the high numbers, which, by the way, there's a lot of places on the planet where the numbers are going back up with COVID. Just let you know. Here in Escambia County, our numbers are going down legitimately. I'm just completely amazed. I don't know if like the rednecks around here that have enough sense have put like COVID vaccines in crop dusters and they're just going all over Pensacola because they're tired of it, or I don't know. But our numbers are going down here, but they're going up. Hell, they're going back up in the UK. I saw something in the UK may actually go down back to a lockdown of sorts, because there's actually some other variants that they're now concerned with. But we won't get back into that. That's just getting broken record. But next year, I think things will be good enough that I will travel. Unless I'm dead. I don't plan on being it. I have to say that. You have to knock on wood. It's a family thing. Just be sure you put that little notation in there. But go see some folks, Danny and Mark and James and all that, down in Central Florida. Probably twice next year, in September and then December. I would like to travel to some other haunted attractions. I really do plan on being in Louisiana next year. I'll have my 15th booster shot by then, or whatever it is, and I think I'll be fine. And I think we'll be okay as a population in general, everything from herd immunity to vaccines to natural antibodies to everything else. So I think that won't be gone next year, but it'll definitely be better mitigated than it was this year. So I plan to do that. Definitely, James and I are going to be chitty-chatting about expanding and evolving Hunters Anonymous for next year. Upwards and onwards. Good stuff. Definitely have the Ministry of Amusement have an evolution. I'm already working on doing a lot of stuff for Haunted Cypress 1910 to get me hot and heavy on social media, to get some pretty big size attention on me here and the house. I'm going to be sure that I am in Halloween and haunt mode, hot and heavy, starting probably in January. I'm going to do stuff behind the scenes in November, December, but 2022 will definitely be a bigger year for me, personally, and the house, and a lot of other ideas I'm going to do. I'll have the my damn shed done, my workshop done. I'll have some surprises next year. I'll be actually selling some stuff. I won't be vending, but I'll be selling stuff next year, mostly electronics, LED type stuff. Because I am no latex person. I would just, oh my God, it amazes me the people that can do that stuff. Because I'm like, oh Jesus, if I worked with the clay and the latex and the dippity, oh my God, I don't even know. I'd glue my eyes shut with it magically, and my eyes would be glued shut with it because I had that. But electronics and LEDs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna get James to start working on his Arduinos. So you'll probably start seeing some stuff from Hunters Anonymous to purchase along with the merchandise, but also me personally here from Haunted Cypress 1910, from the 16 by 24 foot workshop in the back with my cool magnets from Keith. But so there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff going down next year. I know, I basically said that for vendors and stuff, it's going to be, I think, not the best of times, and but I think that if you market yourself well, and if you already know where your supply of stuff is coming from, and you can get it from the United States, which all my stuff is going to come from the United States, or I've already stockpiled a bunch of stuff, and if you market yourself well enough on the web, with a website and social media, and you're not looking to sell 6 figures worth of shit, I think you can actually do well. And that's what I'm going to try to do next year, alongside of doing house repairs and some other fun things I'll announce at some point. I just, like I said, my long-winded version of this, the past couple weeks, my enthusiasm just, I could not build it up. I could not get my enthusiasm up for the pinnacle of October, which is Halloween. I'm going to enjoy it, and I've been enjoying it, but I just dealing with the lights across the street and the damn light on the pole and the heat and just everything I was absorbing from the haunt industry that was not good at all. And the infighting. There was a lot of infighting this year. Just, I don't know. The shootings, just the closings, the ridiculous ticket prices, the absurd way that owners and managers were dealing with customers at their haunts and making it public. Just, this year has just been, this October for the haunt season has been horrendous, quite honestly. Not for everybody. That's why, like I said, I love living vicariously through all of you. Living vicariously through the amazing things 13 Skeletons has done. Vic, Sean, conversations with folks like Danny and Mark and things that Mark tells us, and all the people, and Jessica, and all the people I know I'm not mentioning, not on purpose, but I'm just getting old and senile. But And then, of course, when James goes to Hershey Park and when James went to HHN and met Mark, I've been very fortunate as an individual to be living vicariously again this year and enjoying it through all of you. But next year goes 100% proactive. I'll still live vicariously through all of y'all because I sure as hell better see all kinds of cool stuff coming from all of y'all once again next year. But next year I've got to, I guess, put on my big boy pants and absorb the information that I know I'm going to get from the haunted attraction industry and just know that there's zero I can do about it. And it's sad and press on. And then put that information out to all of you. And then we all can absorb it and move on. And feel sorry for those people. Or exuberant for those people that if they're doing well and legitimately doing well and not spiking their prices or spiking their information or whatever they're doing. We can make 2022 a phenomenal year, even if it's sort of isolated. Just don't expect to be buying a lot of stuff next year. Build as much as you can. Hoard as much as what you've got now. Just keep it near and dear to your heart, and use it next year. Which I've said this before too. I'm very lucky that I have a house full of supplies that some of it are 30 years old, still in the box, or 5 years old, or like I said, I'm very fortunate that I have got a plethora of stuff here at the house that'll suit me just well for several years. And like I said, when I start building stuff and selling it, electronics and LED wise, that I know exactly where my vendors are here in the United States, and I know they're well stocked. Aside from what I've stocked here at the house. So, but don't hold your breath looking for a lot of new awesome things next year from Home Depot, Lowe's, all the big box stores. Just, it's going to be pretty low key next year. I'm going to be interested to see what happens at the Halloween and Party Expo, since that's normally where a lot of places showcase the stuff for the big box vendors to sell next year. The Halloween and Party Expo did not happen this year, January, because we were in the ultra height of the pandemic. So that's another reason why you had a lot of these big box vendors that were like, well, we don't even know what's available, because honestly there wasn't anything available. It's going to be interesting to see in January, since they are having the Halloween Party Expo, really how big it is next year, comparatively speaking, to a normal year like 2019, 2018, 2017. I think they're having it in Las Vegas because they need a place to razzmatazz people, quite honestly. I also think they need a place that is easy for international flights to get in and out of, and everything is right there. I really think the Halloween Party Expo is having it in Las Vegas because it's not going to be that big next year, and they really just need a place for people to want to come in. Oh, well, I'm an executive from Walmart, and I wouldn't probably go this year because there probably won't be much for me to see. But hell no, I'm going to go because it's Las Vegas, and it's a free trip for me. And I think that's what they're doing. I think they're trying to entice people to come in. And that's why it's in Las Vegas, of all damn places. But that's another little opinion I have of the Halloween Party Expo. And then, of course, we'll see how MHC goes. Like I said, James and I may actually go to that. We'll have to see. Transworld, I just don't. At this point, I don't even give a shit about Transworld. So many people do videos and pictures and everything else that you can actually see what's going on at Transworld. And you've got the list of vendors. There just doesn't seem to be a reason to go to it, honestly. If you're not going to go there to buy $50, $60, $70, $100,000 worth of stuff, and then wait 7 months to get it, Not all vendors do that, by the way, but that. Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I zonked out there for a minute. OBS went haywire. I'm still here though for the next 9 minutes. I saw this notification. OBS like disconnected, then it reconnected. So I don't know who's still here, but I'm still here for another 9 minutes. If you're still here, say hello. If you're not, that's fine too. Danny noticed. Danny's the only person that's still watching. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't touch anything, and I just saw a notice that said OBS disconnected. I have no idea. Maybe for about 10, 20, 30 seconds or something. I don't know. That's okay, though, because we'll start winding it down in a few minutes, and we'll go to the bottom of the hour. But I there's so many like off the wall now conventions. I would love to go to Hunters Against Hate, their convention. I might do that next year. I can't remember where they said it was going to be, but I'm only going to go to places where I can drive. 13, thank you so much for hanging this long. And once again, fantastic, absolutely beautiful job again. Thank you for letting us be a part of it in our own small way. Be safe, take care on the storm, and we'll talk to you again. I'll be back on Wednesday night. James may be here too. Just let you know. By the way, everybody, I'll be back on Wednesday night. I'm not really sure when James is supposed to leave for Hershey Park, but James may be on. I know I'll be on Wednesday night. So I guess I'll have to. That's one of the things I'll do since we're winding it down is I'll definitely be on again Wednesday night, probably just for an hour. I probably won't make y'all listen to me randomly for 30 extra minutes. Sunday night, Halloween night, I really don't know what's going on. James is going to try to, I think, live stream from Hershey Park while they trick or treat. I'm almost positive I won't be doing a Halloween night stream. So we'll just play it by ear. I'll let y'all all know. So the most you may get on Halloween night will be a live stream from James at Hershey Park, unless I just decide to just randomly pop on, which I really kind of doubt. I'm going to take Halloween night and just sit on my porch and enjoy the cool weather and just chill out. Especially since if I do have trick-or-treaters, a lot of times if I have older trick-or-treaters, they'll stop by 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night for real, especially if they know me. So I don't think that we'll have a regular Sunday night Haunters Anonymous stream. It'll be randomly coming from James. And then, just to reiterate and to make sure everybody knows, there also won't be a Monday night stream from us, from Haunters Anonymous, because Monday is November 1st. We will be switching gears and going back to the ministry probably on Wednesday nights. I think James really wants to just do this one night a week. I say this. I would say I may randomly pop on. One of the things I am going to start doing is doing podcasts and live streams from Haunted Cypress 1910. So November 1st, Haunters Anonymous live streams will go on hiatus for 2 months, although we'll still be putting out a lot of news, merchandise, all that kind of fun things. We'll still keep it alive, just no live streams. There may be a random podcast from us. I can't promise that. But starting November 1st, the daily